The Listener, by Walter de la Mare. Summary. The Listeners by Walter de la Mare is a haunting, mysterious poem first published in 1912. It centers on a lone traveler who knocks at the door of an empty house deep in the forest, seeking a response from its unseen inhabitants. Despite repeatedly calling out, he receives no answer from the mysterious listeners, whom the poem describes as ghostly, ethereal beings. The atmosphere is filled with suspense and uncertainty, with themes of isolation, the supernatural, and the unknown. The poem leaves readers with a sense of eerie quiet, as the traveler leaves, his calls unanswered. About the author. Walter de la Mare, 1873–1956, was an English poet, short story writer, and novelist known for his works that often explore themes of imagination, childhood, and the supernatural. His poetry is characterized by its haunting, dreamlike quality and often delves into mysterious and eerie subjects. One of his most famous poems, The Listeners, exemplifies his fascination with the uncanny. De la Mare's writing often blurs the lines between reality and fantasy, creating a sense of wonder and contemplation. He was highly regarded for his ability to evoke emotion and atmosphere, making him a key figure in 20th-century British literature. Question 1. Read the extracts and answer the questions. Extract 1. No head from the leaf-fringed. In the lone house then. Question 1. Why are the eyes of the traveler described as grey? Answer. The traveler's eyes are described as grey to evoke a sense of weariness, mystery, and neutrality, matching the somber, eerie atmosphere of the poem. The color grey often symbolizes uncertainty and melancholy, reflecting the traveler's confusion and the strange situation he finds himself in. Question 2. Identify 2 words used to give the poem an eerie atmosphere. Answer. 2 words used to give the poem an eerie atmosphere are phantom and lone. Phantom suggests ghostly, supernatural beings, while lone enhances the sense of isolation and desolation surrounding the house. Question 3. Why was he perplexed and still? Answer. He was perplexed and still because he expected a response to his knocking and calling at the house, but instead, he was met with silence and the presence of unseen phantom listeners, leaving him confused and unsettled. Answer the following questions in 3 to 4 sentences. Question A. Who are the listeners in the poem? Why are they called so? Answer. The listeners in the poem are the phantoms that dwelt in the house which is empty or a lone one where no human resides and is closed maybe for years. The phantoms listened quietly in the moonlight the call of a voice that came from the world of men. They are called listeners as they only listened carefully and did not respond to the voice. Question B. Why did the man travel at night to the house in the forest? Answer. The pilgrim once, years ago, might be, promised someone to visit him one day at the same place and the day might have arrived. As the place, might be, away from his place of residence, he reached there at night. As described in the poem, the place was located in the forest with ferny grass, which is even described as dark turf. As he reaches there at night, the forest which looked beautiful, peaceful and fresh turned at night scary with darkness with leafy and starred sky. Question C. In the poem The Listeners, how did the traveler feel as he repeatedly knocked the door? Answer. The traveler when arrives at the place first expects to have a response. But as time passed his persistent calls were left unanswered. He felt strange in his heart and was perplexed. He sensed that someone is there in the house listening quietly but was not responding. He did not know that the person he came to meet had left the house. He was confused but still he expected many actions that will respond his cry but the phantom's stillness answered his call. Question D. Describe the scene outside as the poet stood knocking at the door of the house. Answer. The environment outside the house is a forest with ferny grass all over and is described as dark turf in the moonlight where the house champed the grass. The sky is described as leafy and starred. The forest appeared dark and scary. Answer the following questions briefly. Question A. How does the poet bring together two worlds in the poem The Listeners? Answer. The poet brings together two worlds in the poem The Listeners. He creates a link between the world of alive beings and that of dead ones. In this poem, a traveler goes to a lone house supposedly in order to fulfill a vow. When he goes there, he expects a person answering the knocks on the door. However, no human but phantoms lived in the house. Through this, we witness a close encounter between both worlds. The phantoms also answer all the traveler's questions through their silence. Even the traveler senses their presence. In this way, the poet brings together two worlds. Question B. What is the most prominent feeling left with the reader after he reads the poem? How has the poet created the feeling? Answer. After reading, if we predict that the listeners are or wanted to respond, then it triggers the feeling which reflect that you want to help but you can't. This mysterious poem touches on all these themes while more broadly speaking on the strangeness of the world and humankind.
Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more updates.